Fabian Blöchl has 4 geese and 3 ducks in his garden. But one of them won't live to see another day. Fabian is 22 and has studied agriculture. He's helped out on his grandparents' farm since he was 10 and knows better than to get attached to the animals.
Sure, you know them. You know that this one hobbled around for a bit, things like that. But in the end, a farmer knows that they're livestock. This isn't a retirement home. In the end, they're going to be slaughtered.
Fabian has just returned from Kenya, where he worked as a volunteer. He shows his mother photos of the village where he stayed. For 6 months, he lived without electricity or running water, a stark contrast to his life in Germany. But Fabian says the two countries have similar problems. In Kenya, people are leaving the countryside and flocking to the cities. And the same is happening where Fabian lives in Lower Lusatia, some 100 kilometers south of Berlin. Lignite mining was long a source of employment here, and that's left its mark on the landscape. There's never been much heavy industry in Lower Lusatia, and since German reunification in 1990, there's been even less. Today, unemployment stands at 15%. Most of the young people find work elsewhere and leave. Only the old remain. Still, the Farmers' Cooperative, where Fabian did his internship, employs 40 people. Agriculture is an important part of the economy here. But the region depends heavily on EU subsidies, and increasingly that money is going to even poorer regions of the EU. The co-op will receive 60,000 fewer euros this year. Money is tight.
We're not really making any money. Milk prices have hit rock bottom. We can barely sell our grain. We haven't got any hogs, thank goodness. Right now, business is very tough.
Should the Farmers' Cooperative go out of business, the impact on the village would be huge. Until now, the co-op has helped support the local daycare and the sports association.
We need to do more. Support rural areas, encourage projects and initiatives to get people to stay here. It's not enough just to have farms. You have to have functioning schools and infrastructure too. A village needs to have a baker and a butcher.
Once a month, Fabian goes to the state parliament in Potsdam. As a member of Germany's Social Democrats, he takes part in caucus meetings and confronts politicians with the problems faced by his community. In spite of the state's empty coffers, he says it shouldn't give up on sparsely populated rural areas. He receives support from MP Barbara Hackenschmidt. He lives in her constituency.
For me, the biggest problem is that people always speak badly of this region. That's the first thing. I think people who live here lack self-confidence and then just say, there's nothing going on here. I'm responsible for energy and tourism, and when visitors come, they always say it's so beautiful, it's great.
One of the things tourists marvel at is this decommissioned 500-meter-long conveyor bridge, dubbed the horizontal Eiffel Tower. Today, cultural events are held on it. The switch from mining to rock concerts has been successful. This farmer is also taking a chance on something new. He shows Fabian an experimental field of fast-growing poplar trees. Although they're just 2 years old, the trees are almost 4 meters high. They're being grown as fuel for power plants, making them a source of renewable energy.
If several farmers gave it a try and it took hold, we'd find out if it's economically viable. But farmers have to take the first step.
5 years ago, Fabian helped found a local political organization. Today's order of business is the industrial area in the neighboring village. They're trying to dream up ways of attracting new companies. Every new job keeps people from moving away.
We aren't stopping young people from packing their bags and leaving. We don't want to confine anyone to the village or say you must stay here now, not go off and study in Berlin. Sure, people need to go away to university, but I think it's also important to give people a clear idea of the opportunities they have here.
Fabian Blöchl will be going away again himself, This summer, he'll start studying rural development in Berlin. But once he's got his degree, he plans to return home to Lower Lusatia.